Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here on the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us today. I am going to be playing with some Spellbinders dies to create a 5x7 card. Lots of fun die cutting and combining products from their Fair Winds collection, which I'm showing you here. This is the Buoy die set. It makes this a cute little seagull, some buoys, and that post for him to sit on. Then we have a guiding light, which is this lighthouse and seagulls and two large rock formations. And then we have one more die set. It is the set sail. It creates this sailboat, a really cool wave, and a cloud. And all of these are layering pieces. Then I have a stamp set that is Fair Winds Sentiments, and coordinating dies. We're going to use that. I'm going to use 3 of those sentiments in my card today. Okay, so let's jump in to the die sets themselves. This is the Buoy set. You can see all the dies and all the die cut pieces. They a lot of them do layer up, so you can get that dimension and have different colors, which I love. So you can see here I've used just solid colored cardstock and layered those up to create those really interesting die cuts. I think they're really cool looking. So even the little post there has wood grain that embosses into it. The little details on the bird's wing, I love. Okay, now we have our set sail. Here is that sailboat. It die cuts out this frame, which pretty much you're going to layer on top all of the things. The bottom of the boat, the detail pieces of the boat, and the sails themselves. And it just goes together really quick and easy. You have 3 layers to create the cloud, 3 layers to create the wave. The cloud has a nice notch at the bottom middle that you line all the pieces up, and most things are embossed so you know where to stick them. Now, one of the wave pieces needs to be blue. I decided to ink blend it because I'm going to ink blend my background that it will go on, and then it'll match. So here's the boat, the cloud, and the wave all layered up so you can see up close exactly what they look like. They are really easy to put together but have so much cool detail. I love how you can kind of arrange that boat in the wave however you like. It looks really fun. Okay, next we have our guiding light layering die set that creates this really awesome lighthouse. It's just kind of like the right size for card making. Not too big, not too little. You can use it to create a scene, but it can also be used all on its own. Today I wanted to show you all of 3 of these die sets on one card. So that's what I'm going to do, and that card is going to be 5x7. So this front piece of my card actually measures 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and I am laying out a piece of paper tape so I know where the water portion of my card will be. I'm masking off the sky part so I can do the ink blending to create the water. I'm starting with Salty Ocean. Like, when in doubt, just go with the names of the ink pad, right? I'm making the ocean, I might as well use Salty Ocean. So I'm ink blending that. I'm keeping it a little bit darker at the top than at the bottom, but in the end I don't think it's that noticeable. So you could go a little bit lighter at the bottom if you really want that kind of ombre effect. So also my rocks are going to be at the bottom of this card, so that's going to cover up some of that as well. All right, to darken up that horizon line, I'm bringing in Uncharted Mariner and adding just a little right at the top. And when I'm doing just a little bit of ink blending, I like to use a smaller brush. So play with the brushes that you have or the sponge applicators. Okay, now I'm switching the tape and I'm going to do the sky. Now when I do this and I have a horizon line and I want to ink blend on both sides, I do like to leave just a sliver of the water portion exposed so that you don't end up having like a thin white line where you don't want it to be. I'm using Stormy Sky for this part, and you can see I'm doing really sparse ink blending. I want it to look like a sky with clouds, and I think it really does. This is a great color for this, and I really cleaned off my brush to make sure I had no other ink on there, and then I'm starting off the paper and working my way on so I can get really light ink coverage. But there's my little cloudy sky. I love how it turned out. A little bit more ink blending before we start adhering all the things together. I have some mustard seed ink, and I'm trying to put it right behind that lighthouse just to help it glow a little bit more. And for that, I'm using one of the Spellbinders blending brushes that is like really super tiny. It works great for this. This also works good for putting a little bit of ink blending on your smaller die cut pieces. Okay, now it's time to assemble all the things. So first I'm going to go ahead and glue down that little rock and the lighthouse. I do have some hanging off the card. I'm going to trim that off later, but here you can see how this rock is the perfect place to put the lighthouse. It fits on there just right, so I love that. Then we have one extra rock which really helps you build your scene. I decided I was going to lay out all the things before I continue to adhere everything down, just to ensure I have really good placement. And once I lay everything out where I like it, then I can go back and start adding my adhesive and start sticking things down. I did decide by doing this that that little, I know it has a better name than a post, it just was too big for my scene. So I'm going to save that and actually put it on the inside of the card. All right, so I have the pieces ready to go that I want on my card, and then I'm going to do a combination of liquid glue and a little bit of foam squares to get things going. So I've glued everything else down, but this wave and the sailboat, I actually glued them together and then used foam squares on the back so that part could be popped up, and just it really makes it more of a focal image being popped up like that. Plus I love dimension on my cards. So I'm just trimming off the little bit of excess of those rocks on either side of the card. I mounted this to a piece of cardstock that is about 1/8 of an inch bigger than my base panel, and then I'm adding it to my A7 size card base. So it was 10 inches by 7 inches, and I scored it at 5 inches, and it opens at the bottom. And then I can add in my post. Can someone let me know what that's called? I'm sure there's a name for this. A pier? Is it a pier? I don't know. And then the seagull, which is just so cute on there. There is a little die. The die just cut out his eye. So what I did is just cut out the bird from black, and the eye happened to stay in there. So I just layered them over the top and pressed the eye down in there where I'd already put a teeny tiny dot of glue. All right, let's move on to the sentiments. The Fair Wind sentiment set. I stamped out my main sentiment with some Versamark ink, and that is a clear sticky ink that's going to allow me to add embossing powder, and then I can melt that powder and my sentiment is going to be raised up and shiny and red. And I just love this pop of red on the card. Plus the sentiment, "I'd be lost without you," is just so sweet. There are really great touching sentiments in this set, plus a happy Father's Day, a happy birthday. So it's a really versatile set, and I like that all the larger sentiments have dies you can cut them out with. So I'm going to pop this up onto the card, putting it to the upper left of my sailboat there. And then on the inside, I'm going to add 2 additional sentiments, just stamping them in black ink right onto the card base. Nothing makes me happier than the time we spend together. Isn't that so sweet? And then "Thank you for always being there for me." I'm adding there at the bottom. So lots of room to write a personalized message inside this card, and then some things that help like prompt you about what you want to write. All right, so that is my Fair Winds collection card. I think these images are classic and timeless and really easy to put together, but have so much detail. They really have a realistic feel to them. So I loved playing with these, and I hope that you have enjoyed today's video and maybe learned a couple little card making tips along the way. I thank you for stopping by the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram too, so go check that out, and we'll see you again very soon with another video. Thanks for watching. Bye!